The Florida Department of Environmental Protection is now investigating after local scientists sounded the alarm a few weeks ago, claiming the City of Tallahassee's wastewater treatment process was likely spreading forever chemicals into the water.
Our Capital City correspondent Matt Hoffman joins us live now, and you're on Tallahassee's south side between the city and unincorporated Woodville, and Matt, that's where we're focused on right now.
Yeah, no doubt about that. This is the intersection between Tallahassee and Woodville. A lot of the water from Tallahassee flows south to Woodville and even into Wakulla Springs. You might recall it wasn't that long ago that a group of scientists, including led by Dr. Ron Saff, were on the steps at City Hall, miles from here, saying that they believe PFAS is probably coming from the city's spray fields. Well, this week, DEP says it will take a look. In this letter obtained by WCTV, the Florida Department of Environmental Protection says it will increase sampling in Woodville, provide free filters for those impacted, and perhaps most importantly, try and identify the source of the PFAS. Is there any good reason not to test the spray field? Expense, hassle?
Absolutely no reason not to test. That's the prudent thing to do.
That's Terry Ryan, the president of the Tallahassee Region Environmental Group. He says the city treats the wastewater and then sprays it on these fields. But Ryan believes PFAS is likely tagging along and then entering the groundwater.
If DEP does the correct test in there, doing the sampling and actually all the tests and everything, we'll feel confident about it. We'll feel comfortable. And we hope they do that in a timely manner and disseminate the results.
City Commissioner Jeremy Matlow was one of two commissioners who asked DEP to step in. He says this is an example of the government working the way it should, with the caveat that there's more work to do.
I think long term we should be pressuring really the state and federal government to put bans on PFAS and commercial products, because that's really the source. You know, we're not creating it at the spray field. Right. It's in all these consumer products that people are flushing down the drain.
DEP's letter does not provide a timeline for the private well testing or for the free filters, though we will have the agency's contact information on our website. Now, both Ryan and Commissioner Matlow, who you just heard from, say that the city's wastewater facilities were actually ahead of their time when they were built. Well, that was back then. PFAS is so pervasive now that it would require a pretty big remodel if we're going to handle that at the city level. For now, in Tallahassee, I'm Matt Hoffman, WCTV Eyewitness News.
Matt, such an important discussion investigation. We'll stay tuned for the results. Thank you.